Well, how about that? It looks like it's game time here. We've got 64 players in attendance for the first CSL match here. So, because there's only 64 players, that means there is going to be 36 bots that are essentially open for farming in this game. So, it's going to be a little bit nasty, but let's take a look. We've got both squads here looking to drop down into the map. Where do they go? Of course, we got Sergeant Swell and Intrinsic on the left, and then our second duo with Siri and Beauty on the right. Now, even though both these teams are a part of St. Clair Saints, are part of the Saints Gaming squad, they are technically still competing up against each other. So, if they find each other in the map, they very well will have to compete for kills, if not take each other out. So it could be very, very scary if they decide to go to the same place, but it looks like that is not going to happen. We've got both these guys going to opposite ends of the map, with Swell and Intrinsic taking the east while Siri and Beauty take the south. Yeah, it looks like Swell and Intrinsic have a little bit of company, but Siri and Beauty, on their other hand, looks like they have a much bigger problem up ahead if they're not careful. It does appear that Swell's going to be the first one to get into the action, going to be dropping down. I think that was a bot, but a genuine human going down by Swell. Good start for him. In the meantime, Siri and Beauty have landed on the south end by Misty Meadow. Both teams just looting the best they possibly can at this point, see what they can get. A quick 2 points, as it looks like Intrinsic did find himself 2 kills, so a very good start right now for Sergeant Swell and Intrinsic. Not too bad of a loadout on either end right now. Swell full of greens with a bunch of he's got the health pack and the shield as well. Meanwhile, that's actually, is that a legendary rocket launcher there for Siri? So a nice pickup from him. Absolutely love the rocket launcher. So good. I do believe there's somebody just on the outside of Siri, so you can tell he's kind of taking us slow through this building. Gets the all clear and gets moving, it looks like. Okay, Siri does find one. Can he find the snipe? He looks for it, doesn't get anything until the one rifle shot does take 21 off him. Yeah, so of course, as mentioned before, this is no longer the jumping into a random game and then just trying to rush for kills. Everybody here, because it's that private server, is a part of the CSL unless it happens to be a bot. And I think we did see Swell find one earlier, but in the end, I know Intrinsic got 2 more as well, so that very well could have been 2 players from a different school. Both teams just farming up, trying to get as much resources as possible, and not exactly rushing any sort of combat. Just getting loot, letting everything come to them. Looking to possibly take it, and actually it looks like Siri in a bit of combat here in the middle of the lake. He's got the sniper rifle. He's going to try and find the shot, but the guy's going to be able to build away and slightly evade, but actually Siri getting kind of shot upon like multiple angles. Going to try his best to get out of here. There is the shield there for him too, so he's going to at least be able to top himself off at 100. And hopefully stay out of the line of fire for at least a little bit. And it's rocket launcher actually getting picked up there for Sergeant Swell. We got a snipe opportunity right now for Siri. Can he find it? Takes the shot, 100 damage onto him. Does force him to build. They're just going to scare him and probably move on. It doesn't look like they're going to try and force that. But to completely drain the guy's shield, that's at least a pretty solid shot there for Siri. We do have shots fired near Siri once again, probably from across the lake. He's going to look for it. Does see the guy swimming? Doesn't hit the shot though. Yeah, this guy's just straight up trying to swim straight at him. It could be a quick pickup here. Shield Horse going down. But Siri's still being fired upon. A little bit of a calm in the action with both of the Saints squad still relatively split up, so we don't have to worry about them really coming into contact with each other just yet. Still 72 players in this match. Most of the bots are probably cleaned up at this point. Possible snipe chance here on the fishing opponent. Does not find the shot. Forces the guy to start building and just going to go back to farming resources. Lots of shots though, like Syrian Beauty right into a pretty, not a super scary spot, but right into the action. Starting to swell though, also finding some people, getting a couple shots off on one of the players down on the low ground. He's got the rocket launcher. If he really wants to try and snipe with it, he is going to fire it off. Of course, that rocket does take a long time to actually travel to its target, so lots of time for the opponent to move and get out of there. But of course, the rocket, very good at doing tons of structure damage, so on things that don't move, very strong, of course. Looks like Intrinsic's also there alongside Sergeant Swell. Shots fired, lots of shield lost here for Sergeant Swell. Intrinsic gets blasted pretty much down to no HP. Still living, that's a rocket coming down on Intrinsic as well, but it doesn't make contact. Okay, no time to even try and heal though. It does look like Intrinsic does pull it off, but their building was getting bombarded on, and it's going to be a close quarters battle here for Swell and Intrinsic, as right in their face. Gonna be an edit battle here. He's got the shotgun ready if necessary, but can he find the shot? I know we've seen Swell practicing this earlier. Well, in the downtime, he does get chunked down about half of his HP. Trying to find a way out of here. Intrinsic's still okay up on the high ground. It looks like Swell's actually the one in a bit of a rough position. But gets battled. He does get downed. Is he going to get blasted out? He is going to get taken down. That's going to be what would a scrub taking him down. Intrinsic does have 2 kills so far in this match. 2. Can he get the revenge kill? He does get it. So trading 1 for 1. He's got the revive card too. So if he does manage to find the right spot, he very well could bring Sergeant Swell back into this game. So the storm is looking like we're going to have to go up into the northeast section of the map. So that means that Syrian Beauty have been essentially running from the storm for most of this match. While Intrinsic now has a little bit less ground to have to cover. That's got to be one of the most nerve-wracking spots that you can go to. You're trying to run from the storm, and you just see a gigantic building of player-made structure. I know it makes me anxious trying to walk by that thing and hope that I don't get blasted. But Syrian Beauty so far still in pretty good shape. Siri just with a tiny little bit of shield damage. Meanwhile, Beauty sitting at 100-100. This guy's loaded up on materials as well, but never know, get as much as he can. One more chest there for Siri, and gets even more shields. So, in theory, both these guys could be sitting at 100-100 right now. Intrinsic finally just about to arrive into the safe zone. And he's slowly but surely finding he's got the reboot card in the area where you can revive your teammate. It is actually in like relatively close proximity, but as I can hear Swell saying here in the background, it's probably going to be a heavily contested area. Probably a few teams here with one person remaining, get the reboot card, and then gonna try and get to that car, and it does take a while to pull it off. So this is going to be a bit of a scary spot here for Intrinsic. He's going to try and build around, keep himself safe, and try to reboot his teammates. Well, going to possibly get back in the game here, as long as there's no like Randy Rocket coming out of nowhere. Sure enough, back in the game, our other fellow John Wick. Yeah, pistol, shoddy, or is that a? That's not a shoddy. It's a hunting rifle. Yeah, it may be a bunch of grays, but at least it's something. Sergeant Swell going to be able to get himself back into fighting form. Nicely done there from Intrinsic. To get the revenge kill, get the card picked up, and then being able to get his teammate back in this game. And there we go. We got the Swell fan club in the chat. Let's go. We see you. $41 players left in this round. Sergeant Swell and Intrinsic, I believe, as of right now, have a total of four kills, maybe 5 kills now. So 5 points for them. Series got 2, I believe, and I don't know about Beauty's score just yet. So both of our Saints made it into the safe spot of the storm for at least this round. Of course, Siri Beauty down on the south side, and with Sergeant Swell and Intrinsic in Steamy Stacks here in the east. But this storm is starting to get pretty small, and we're actually getting a lot of kills happening right now, down to 37 members in this match. And shots fired onto Siri and Beauty. Going to try and get himself up on the hill and get himself a good angle. Yeah, building to his west, which little rough person in front of him as well could start getting a little messy. Oh, can he find the shot? Siri looking for it. He's going to get right into it. He does get about 2 shots, about 60 damage worth onto one of the players down below. He's got the rocket launcher, just ignoring his building and just trying to cut him off. Very aggressive move here from Siri. Again, forced to play in the build battle. He's getting shot from through the wall, down without any shield. 76 health left on him. So it's about 8 shots left on his rocket. I think we got action on both ends now. Intrinsic and Swell also in the heat of things with the last 32 players. Siri taking it slow, trying to Eddie. He's got the open shot. He's going to get a bunch of damage onto one of the players. Doesn't take him down, though. He's probably left with like 20 health or so. Okay, Beauty right there with the shield drink, though. So going to be able to at least get him down to 50 shield, or up to 50 shield, rather. 8 shots fired. Swell actually getting 80 damage onto one of the players on the low ground. 31 players now left here. And the first threshold for getting points by position is 15. So we still need half of these guys to drop if you want to get the extra, I believe it's the extra 3 points or extra point in general for your positioning. That's actually a kill from Beauty. So another one on the board right now for Siri and Beauty. Swell does find a care package, but just like the reboot card, that thing can definitely leave you a sitting duck. Swell and Intrinsic finding themselves on the low ground going towards this building. Has it been looted yet? Is there anybody here? That is always a nerve-wracking scenario. They're going to be just barely inside of the Storm as well as Syrian Beauty. Both squads making it to the next round again. 27 players left, and we're going down towards the south again here. Syrian Beauty moving in. That's a pretty big tower they have to go up against. And actually, Swell and Intrinsic right in a battle as well. The player right above him does tag him just barely. And I think that is going to be the kill there for Intrinsic. Does find the angle he needs. That's another one on the board for Swell and Intrinsic. Syrian Beauty also in battle. This is the crazy time now for the Fortnite match as Storm just keeps getting smaller and smaller. Everybody's going to be essentially face to face with each other. And I am looking forward to the insane build battles as we've been seeing. Okay, shots fired onto Swell up in the top. That's actually somebody on the up on the platform, up in that building. Both players on Team 1 for Swell and Intrinsic. Seeing with 150 health, so they're sitting pretty decent right now. Beauty's without shields right now, but at least he does have all of his health. Swell and Intrinsic moving in on the players up on the high ground. Shots are fired and buildings are being destroyed. Intrinsic on the flank, but I don't know if anybody's actually tagged the player quite yet. Okay, there we go. Swell does manage to tag him for 30, but the guy still had some shield left over, so he's still relatively healthy. They're going to try and chase him on the high ground. Of course, giving your opponent the high ground is very, very scary. Of course, they get the angles on you. Meanwhile, you're probably going to shoot the ground trying to get them. Yeah, moving into where all these huge forts are. These big towers, especially if they have like a sniper rifle or something, could be scary. I know I've been saying scary constantly, but it really is nerve-wracking. We do have a battle. It's going to be Swell getting a little bit of damage on him, but Intrinsic is there for backup. But we are now in Storm territory. The duel in the Storm, it is going to be Swell going down. Oh, and Intrinsic does go down as well. So 13th for Swell and Intrinsic on their very first match here. That does still get them a bonus point, I believe, for positioning. So very nicely done from them. Yeah, they get 3 points for that. So solid job for them. Meanwhile, Syrian Beauty still hanging in there. Beauty, of course, like I had mentioned before, without any shield, but at least full health, so not too bad. Just taking his time. Whoever is in that building down below, I definitely do not envy. Yes. Siri just looking to try and see if he can get a pot shot here onto them. They are in the safe zone of the Storm right now, so they're sitting pretty. They don't have to necessarily move to avoid taking any damage from at least the Storm anyway. Yeah, sniper rifles, rocket launchers in hand. He's going to take the shot through the building. Does do a little bit of damage to the building, but I don't think it actually got the player at all. "15 players left in the match. It's crunch time right now for Siri and Beauty. Nice part right now for them both. Of course, they're both still rather healthy. They don't exactly have mats though. Now that I look at it, with at least for Siri, he's only got the 67 iron, and I saw the experience pop up. I thought he got a shot off on somebody, but Chapter 2 bringing in those new updates still throwing me off a little bit. Yeah, these guys are still right next to each other, relatively healthy. Their only big weakness right now is just the lack of materials, which hopefully doesn't bite them, considering there is like no time to farm. And we actually do have contact with Beauty and Siri took the worst of that, unfortunately, losing his shield and then half of his health. Could have bandaged up to 75, but still an extremely rough situation. Okay, they're going to drop in. He's got the rocket launcher ready. See if he can find himself a pick. There's shots from all angles. There's nothing he could do to get away from that one. And he is going to go down as the 14th player. Beauty still in the game, though. Definitely a rough position, especially as the storm comes in. And yeah, there's absolutely nowhere he could go in that one. But still, an 8th place finish does give them 5 points extra on top of their kills. So both the St. Clair squad getting into the bonus points for their positioning. So very nicely done. And of course, we do have to wait for this one to end since this is the private server. Trying to see who we're riding along with here. Now, one thing I noticed that it can be kind of hard to follow is because Fortnite doesn't have, like when you shoot somebody, their tag or whatever doesn't show up. It's interesting, but it can be odd as well because I know personally, I'm just saying that they're shooting at somebody. I always know that they are from CSL, of course. It is another school, but as to who it is, I have not a clue, unfortunately. But that does make it pretty interesting for teams like ourselves who do have multiple teams in the CSL that we can be opening fire on our own teammates and not even know. And slowly but surely, we have now gone down into the top 5. 4 players actually left now. And the storm is so tiny. You don't exactly have much wiggle room here. Yep, do find the one, pop shots, but not quite find it. And I wonder if I've got 2 different angles here. We do actually. Oh, one more going down. Final 3. Almost the taunt to get bodied. The truest combo in gaming. And down they go. Yep. So the final 2 left here. See if I can figure out which schools these guys are from right after that. Oh. And there it is. So overall, not too bad here for St. Clair. Of course, one team finishing 8th, the other getting 13th.